BRAVIA XR is Sony's new philosophy on how images and audio should be processed into television to deliver the most impressive and realistic experience possible. And this is driven by the Cognitive Processor XR and the introduction of cognitive-based intelligence for the first time ever in a consumer TV. I'm Derek from Sony. I'm going to walk you through the XR picture processing with XR color, XR contrast, XR clarity, and XR motion. Now, cognitive-based intelligence has a huge advantage over traditional AI that you might already be aware is available on some other TVs because it adds a human element to the picture processing. It actually thinks about what it's actually doing. So conventional AI is limited to individual elements such as contrast or color and processing those independent of each other. But that's not really how we perceive the real world. Everything we look at, we perceive all of this information all at once and put it all together to see what we perceive as reality. The colors, the clarity, the contrast, hues, the lighting, the shadows, all that stuff together. Now, Cognitive Processor XR with the BRAVIA XR does something very, very similar. Nearly simultaneously, it puts together hundreds of these individual elements, cross-analyzes them together to identify where is the priority of the focus and what would we see as if we were actually there. BRAVIA XR features Sony's XR Triluminos Pro color technology. With XR Triluminos Pro, the Cognitive Processor XR uses 3D color algorithm processing to produce a wider color space and reproduce color with nuanced, subtle differences that we see in the real world. So let's talk about contrast. You know how in really dark scenes or really bright areas of the picture you actually lose detail? With XR contrast, dark areas are darker and bright areas are brighter, and thanks to Sony's precise panel control, you don't get overwhelmed by the shadows in the dark areas, and you don't lose the detail blown out in the highlights. This is achieved on our OLED TVs with the XR OLED Contrast Pro and our LED TVs with the XR Contrast Booster 5, 10, and 15. Those numbers indicate more and more XR Contrast Booster processing to give you a higher peak brightness. And all of these TVs benefit from cognitive-based intelligence with the Cognitive Processor XR. So now on to detail and clarity. No matter what your source or your content, you'll be able to enjoy entertainment close to 8K or 4K resolution with the XR 8K and 4K upscaling. The XR 8K and 4K upscaling still uses our object-based super resolution database to give you super sharp objects, as well as introduce a new database for super accurate texture reproduction. The Cognitive Processor XR uses vast amount of information to recreate all those fine details as well as those fine textures to make it look much more like real life. So it's more like looking out a window rather than looking at your TV. XR Motion on BRAVIA XR TVs uses cognitive-based intelligent motion processing for fast-paced, blur-free scenes. Our Cognitive Processor XR with XR Motion Clarity cross-analyzes data to ensure that motion stays clear, bright, and smooth. So I really hope this video has helped inform you on what the XR picture is all about and how it's going to change TVs going forward. But if you have any additional questions, make sure you check out Sony.com, or even better, check out the link in the description below to find out about Sony's one-on-one consultation program where you can speak with someone such as myself to discuss some different options of how to make Sony fit best in your life. I've been Derek from Sony. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.